So we'll go from there. Without any further ado, Sheriff Flowers.
Good evening, everybody. True Patriots, on a Friday night, you can be anywhere. You guys are here to listen to me. These guys speak. True Patriots, thank you. How many people in this room have ever heard me speak before? Anybody? A lot of hands. Wow, okay, awesome. So I'll tell you this. Every single time that you've ever heard me speak, unless it's blatantly obvious, which is very rare, I always speak from my heart. I sat there and I said a little prayer. Lord, give me the right words. I say it every time before I come up here, right? Every time I speak from my heart. And so I'm going to tell you a couple things. Pastor John always inspires me every time he talks. And some of the things that Annie was saying too really hit me pretty hard. And so the first thing I want to talk about is when our founding fathers are informing our Constitution and informing our government. And Benjamin Franklin walks out, and this Elizabeth Powell says, "What have we got, a republic or a monarchy?" And Benjamin Franklin says these words, "A republic if you can keep it. A republic if you can keep it." That was September 17th, 1787. Those words today are more valuable today than they were that particular day, because we are so close to losing what we have as a country. And so, when Pastor John spoke, he made me think of a recent incident that happened to me where one of our employees passed away. And the family had come to me and said, "Hey, we really want you to speak." And so I put on my fancy uniform, and I'm in my casual today. It's Friday. We've had a lot going on today, so I apologize. I'm not trying to offend you. This is my more casual Friday where last time I came here, I was in the tie and all that fun stuff. But this particular day, I had my big jacket on and my cowboy hat, and I had the fancy uniform and the honor guard with me. And we're there to honor this family member of the sheriff's office, this family member of this person. And we're in this church, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the church, but Carol Jean knows the church, and if you want to ask her after, you can ask her, and she'll tell you, because she knows she's had problems with this church. And so she knows exactly what I'm talking about. And so we were there, and I met with the priest, and everything goes, and the service starts. And it was a regular church service, but they mentioned our employee twice during that regular service. And I never got to speak, and the family didn't get to speak. And afterwards, I was fuming inside. And the priest came over and he said, "I'm sorry, Sheriff, but we have a policy. Something happened at another church, and people said some things that weren't appropriate about the church, and so we don't allow anyone to speak." And I walked out, and the undersheriff was there, and I looked at him and I said, "This is why we left England. This is it right here. This is it. They don't want you to talk out about the church." That's insane to me that it was like that. And we see this from the left, what's going on right now, how they're attacking our First Amendment every single day. They're trying to take it from us. They're not letting you post on your social media platforms and say the things that you want to say, and they're minimizing it, and they're not getting the truth out there. And our Second Amendment is under attack every single day. I said the thing about I speak from my heart every time, because I'm not going to stand up here and say 4 more years pause, right? You're not going to hear that from me, because I speak from my heart, because every single day at the Vero County Sheriff's Office, I come in, I give my heart to the employees, and I give it to our community. And what I've done over the course of the last 4 years has been unbelievable for our agency. But we've set ourselves on a course that no other agency anywhere around is on right now. The trajectory that we are on is unbelievable. I'm hiring deputies from Brevard County, from all of the municipalities, from Palm-Bay, from West Melbourne, from all over the country, from Chicago. We're bringing people in because they're seeing us on Patrol Live, because the word is getting out that our agency works, that I have a leadership team that believes in me, that believes in all the things that I'm telling you. When we have meetings in my office, Deputy Chief Ken Campbell is here tonight. By the way, let me pause for a second and recognize the real heroes in the room, right? I'm blessed to be able to be the sheriff, but the guys that are here with you, Al Signorelli, Deputy Al, please raise your hand. Deputy Al Signorelli. We got Deputy Chief Ken Campbell back in the center there. He's standing right in the center of the room. Lieutenant Matt Sincere, he's standing right there. Off to the back right, we have Captain Jimmy Hare, and we have Captain Larry Gusser. These folks came with me tonight because they wanted to be here, because they support me. There's plenty of other folks that on a Friday night, it's very busy out there tonight. They want to be here supporting me too. They want to tell you the message of what I've done in the last 4 years. It's not just these guys. Most of these, they actually work in the jail. Everybody that's here works in the jail. Just before I came in tonight, we had a big meeting at 4 o'clock, made a bunch of leadership changes in the agency, all good, positive growth things. But as we came back, that tone alert was going off on our radio. The tone alert happens when there's hot calls, when there's big things happening. 3 thugs got off of our interstate at 95. They headed into Walmart. Our team picked them up. They ran from us. We chased them. We dog bit them. They're headed off to jail, right? What were they doing here? They're from Miami. They're in a stolen car. They're here to do the things that you read about. But guess what? They're not going to do it on my watch. They're not going to do it on these guys' watch. They're not going to do it while our people are out. Those guys send that message back to Miami. Every time we get on the news and we show that video where we catch the shoplifter and we tase them and we take them to jail and we dog bite them, that message just goes around the country. And those bad guys sit in the jail and they talk because they got nothing but time. And they say, man, these guys up here don't play. We had one guy we were chasing on St. Lucie County, southbound on US 1. He got into St. Lucie County, pulled over. The guy said, you were running from us, why'd you pull over? He said, I'm in my sister's car, you guys are about to wreck me out. And I know my sister will kill me if I wreck her car. So the message is out there to these bad guys that we're not playing, but we're going to put them in jail. Indian River County is a place, it's not a place to come commit crime. That message is out on the street, bad guys know it. And it's because I put leaders in place who have that belief, who know what it's like to work the streets. I started from the bottom. I started as a deputy. I worked my way through the ranks, all the way up to being the sheriff. And so I still empathize every single day with the deputy who puts on his vest and gets in that car, and it's uncomfortable, and it's tough, and the days are hot, and the days are long, those 12 hours are a long day. I know what it's like because I've been there. I did it for a long time, and I love every single one of those guys. And the employees know that I love them, and I care for them. And when we have somebody who isn't leading the way that we don't want them to, they get moved, they get disciplined, we take care of it. And you know what? People ask me about that. They say, oh, your opponents talk about this, they talk about that. To make this round, to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. And I'm a change agent at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. When I took office, our agency was really sitting under shade trees. There's a lot of crime happening. We were documenting it. We were pretty much glorified journalists with guns. That's what was going on. And I've told the guys, that's not what we're doing. We're not going to just go out and watch crime happen. We're not going to go out and say, oh, he's running from us. We don't want to take any liability on. Oh, he's resisting. We're not going to fight this guy. No, we're going to put those people in jail. We're going to make sure that we send a message that we are going to handle business here in Indian River County. And the employees know it. They know that I've got their back. They know that if they do their job and they do it well, they're going to be just fine. That message goes all the way down. It's incredible what we've done. And the things that we've done to protect the community have, I never thought that we would be here today when I took office 4 years ago. I never imagined, and it's unfortunate we have the inflation things that are happening, that, so much has happened so bad to hurt our economy. But over the course of the past couple of years, because of that, it's put us in a position where I've been able to raise pay for these guys, get them what they deserve, take care of them, get them in the right places. We had employees who had been with us for 20 years who had still not hit the top of the pay grade. Can you believe that? When I took office, they've been working and dedicating their time to our agency, to our community for 20 years, and they're still not getting that top pay that they deserve. And we took care of that. We fixed that. In just 3 years, I was able to fix that. They have a pay plan, and they know that in the course of 4 or 5 more years, I know exactly where I'm going to be at, how much money I'm going to be making, what that looks like, and then they can make educated decisions. Does that work for me and my family? Should I consider being a leader? What do I need to do? Those are all things that were just, people had no idea before. And now they know, and they're confident in their leaders and the people that are leading the agency. The things that we've done out there with the license plate reader system and the real-time crime system, we are constantly monitoring for the outside. I call it our Iron Dome. Ever since I saw what's happening in Israel and the rockets protecting the dome out there, I said that's exactly what we have in the license plate reader system. Every time one of these idiots from Miami gets off of our interstate, we immediately get notified, stolen vehicle. We immediately get notified, this guy has a warrant. 3 days ago, here's the technology for you guys. It was about 3 or 4 days ago, I was headed from work. A lady gets off the interstate, 95. She's got warrants for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Pretty dangerous situation, right? We don't know what she's going to do. We don't know if she's going to run from us. Because of the technology, what we have, We have 2 unmarked trucks that float out there. You've probably seen them and have no idea that you saw them. They've got steel reinforced bumpers on either side of them. These guys are tactically ready and sound. They're part of our SWAT team. They're ready to respond at a moment's notice. So this lady's driving. She has no idea that we're onto her. We get one of those cars in front of her, one of those trucks behind her. We've got patrol staged in the back. The helicopter is up. When she stops at a traffic light, we ever so gently pin her directly in. The patrol cars move up, and there's nowhere for her to go. She can't run from us. We're not going to damage any cars or hurt anybody, and we're taking her into custody. But here's the crazy thing. I'm in my truck on the side of the road watching all that from my cell phone from the helicopter video. I'm able to, as the leader of the agency, see what my guys are doing on the scene, know that they're doing it the right way, know that we're being protected, and that everybody's safe. Because if something happens, I need to respond immediately. I need to get additional forces out there. I need to do what needs to be done. And so our real-time crime center is 24 hours a day monitoring all those kinds of things. When the helicopter goes up, they've got the ability to tap into that feed. If there's a perimeter, if you hear the helicopter, if you hear the dogs on the ground, we're watching that from above. The body cameras that our guys have, I put those in place because I wanted to protect our guys from all of these people who make these claims against us. And I saw it for so long. People would come out and say, law enforcement did this, law enforcement did that. Our complaints completely fell off. Because my guys aren't doing anything wrong. They're doing right by you every single day. The complaints that we do get, thank you. The complaints that we do get are because people don't like what we have to say. They don't like that the law doesn't work in their favor sometimes. They don't like the answer. And a lot of times they think it's courtesy. We're just letting you know, this is how it works, this is how it is. And so the vast majority of our complaints, we just completely dropped off of the body cameras. It's amazing. But the technology that's in those body cams is now so sophisticated. It's got a little cell phone card inside there. So the real-time crime center can see what they're seeing in real time as it's happening. One, if we, in the past, were out with one of these illegals who speak Spanish, I've got to make sure I've got a Spanish-speaking deputy on duty who can respond out there to be able to translate all this. Not anymore. The Spanish-speaking person can come up on that body cam. They can speak to them over the body cam. They can translate for them in English and Spanish over the body cam. We're not wasting their gas. We're not wasting their time. If it's another deputy that's on, they don't have to leave their zone. They can do it right there from their phone, right where they're at. The other benefit of that is, if my guys are at gunpoint, I can't reach my radio. I'm doing what my job is to do right now. And there's been many times over my career, over 30 plus years of Campbell's career, where we're out responding to things, and I've got somebody at gunpoint, and the radio is saying, 1201, are you okay? 1201, are you okay? And everybody's stressed out. But because of what we have now, my real-time crime center is watching that body cam, and they're speaking for them. Or real-time crime center, we're in the body cam, he's okay, we're watching him. You know what that means to us? It's incredible. It's incredible. So, I've been blessed to be the 11th sheriff of Indian River County. The things that we've done in the first 4 years are unbelievable. And I would put my agency up against anybody that's out there, against any other sheriff's office in the state. And they're coming to us and saying, how did you guys do this? How did you make this happen? We're hosting training classes. We just registered our agency as a Florida Heart recognized training center for life-saving services. We've got 2 SWAT doctors on our SWAT team that are training our guys in advanced medicine. We're going to save people when paramedics can't, because we're going to be in the hot zone, and if something bad happens, my guys have tourniquets, they've got advanced life-saving kits, and we're going to save people just like if we were in Iraq or Afghanistan, because they're getting that advanced training. Nobody else is doing this, folks. And this isn't stuff that you're ever going to hear about in the media, you're not going to read about anywhere, because they don't care. They don't care what law enforcement does. They don't care what our agency is doing. Nobody wants to print this stuff. They just want to print gossip. They want to print nonsense, all this other stuff. That's it, gossip, nonsense. They don't care about the real facts, about the things that are happening right here to take care of you. I can tell you right now that I have the utmost faith in my team. If we had a mass casualty event, if we had a major shooting, SWAT would be amazing. Our team would save lives. We would take care of and neutralize the threat. And I'm confident that our community is one of the best around. We've got a great, well-armed community here. You guys are those patriots too. We had a lot of great conversations leading up to me coming up here. I know there's a lot of people in here. If something went down, I know there are people in this room that would help us out. I know that. Absolutely. And that was a conversation that I had, and I thought when I took office, I knew we would talk about leadership. I knew we would talk about technology. I knew we would talk about all the things that happen in law enforcement. But I find myself more often than not with my top guys, my deputy chiefs of my undersheriff, saying, when the power goes out, do we have enough bullets? Do we have enough MREs? Is our team prepared? How are our guys going to communicate when the radios aren't working? How are they going to communicate when the cell phones aren't working? Because the reality is, that's what's coming. North Korea, China, one of these places is going to knock out the banking system, or they're going to knock out the power grid. And my team and our conversations constantly are, let's tabletop this. Let's talk about how we're going to respond, because that's the greatest threat that we have. And all the stuff that the Democrats are doing is horrible, bad. They're going after our First Amendment, going after our Second Amendment, trying to do all these things. Of the things that these other countries can do. I mean, when the director of the FBI is sitting on Capitol Hill telling everybody in an open forum that the Chinese have already infiltrated our networks, that's not classified information anymore, folks. That's a known thing. And they know that we're in our system, in their systems too. We're looking at each other, we've got each other in a Mexican standoff out there. We've got yours, you've got ours. You want to pull the trigger, because we'll pull it on you. Everybody knows it at this point. So it's a matter of which one of these guys is crazy enough, and do they believe in our leaders in this country that they're going to do something about it if it happens, when it happens, right? So that's the conversation I'm having. How do we protect the good citizens of Indiana County when the lights go out, when the banks go down, when the water system gets hit? How are we protecting those people? And it blows me away that we have those conversations constantly talking about that. So when you sleep at night, when you go to sleep at night, you think about that. Pray for our safety. Pray for our guys that are out there working on the streets and doing their job every day, because it's a dangerous job. There's no doubt about it. But the leaders in the agency, the people that I'm grooming and bringing up and having this conversation with, those are my top guys that we're having these talks about. And we know how to do the basic police work. When it comes down to responding to your house, for burglary, handling this, no question. They do it. They do it well. They do it fantastic. You see patrol cars everywhere. They're doing a great job. There's no problem with that. It's who are you comfortable with having as your sheriff when that goes down? Who are you comfortable with having as your sheriff when a big boat full of Haitians comes across, right? We just had that happen, 25 of them. Guess what? They never touched land. They got shipped back. We're not going to do that. That's the question you got to ask yourself as time goes on and as you think about this. I do want to say, my beautiful wife Alyssa is here. Thank you for being here. She's been very supportive to me. Thank you to our friend Andy for having me tonight. I know you had me a couple months ago. I'm happy to be here. This is a wonderful group of people, wonderful patriots to take your time out on a Friday night. It really shows. And for me, this is the place to be on Friday night. The other people out there, they're in La La Land, they're going to Top Golf tonight, and they're hitting their golf balls, and they're drinking their Budweiser, and it really doesn't matter what's happening in the world. But the people that are sitting here know what's going on. And when things go bad, you guys are the people that we're going to be calling off for help. Because there are certainly good patriots in this country and in this county that are going to help us out when we get to that point. So thank you guys for being patient.
That you talk about the crime center. Would you explain physically what it looks like and how it has our schools in it?
Sure. So our real-time crime center is a room that we renovated inside of the agency adjacent to dispatch. So prior to me being in office, all of the things that happened in the real-time crime center happened in the dispatch center. But the way it worked is the lady that answered the phone that said, 911, what's your emergency? She would be typing into a system. She would also be doing research as much as she possibly could to give to the deputies to do all at the same time. That's an impossible task. There's no way you can answer, thousands of 911 calls that are coming in, know where everybody's at out in the field, be able to relay that information. It's an impossible task. So we took our dispatch center and we said, focus on answering those phones, answer them well, and give the deputies the information they need about where they're responding to. Real-time crime center, you guys look at everything that's coming in and do a 3,000-foot overview. Have we been to that house before? Do we know anything about this person? Have they made threats before? What all is happening inside that room? And so our real-time crime center is a small room, but it's got a bunch of desks set up. We've got a massive video wall that brings all of our systems into one system. It's called Fusus. And so every call for service blinks on a map. You can see where it's at. You can see where the deputies' cars are. You can see who's closest. If you want to click on their body cam, you can see their body cam. All of the school cameras, and I see Mr. McDonald here, all of the school cameras are fed into our system. So God forbid we had a shooting that happened in a school, it would get pulled up immediately. We'd be able to see in real time what's happening right from that system. We actually have an AI, it's a veteran-owned company, AI system that's built into our middle and high schools that monitors those videos for the motion of drawing a gun, for the presence of a gun, and it's constantly looking. So if one of my guys takes out his weapon while he's on campus, everybody's going to get a text message immediately with a photograph of what that looks like and where he's at on campus. Immediately. So we've got our kids protected all the time that they're on those campuses. Next thing we got to do is protect our private schools. Pastor John, I'm worried about your school. I'm worried about you guys all the time. I'm worried about Masters Academy and all those little private schools that are out there because these bad guys know. We've announced it. We're protecting all these schools, but they also know that you guys are setting cops. And so my next mission is to get you guys a guardian to be able to protect all those schools. And fortunately, our legislature this time passed it allowing our private schools to take on guardians. So we're going to be having that conversation about getting a good guy with a gun on every single one of our private schools. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We need more good guys with guns. Yes, ma'am.
What about churches?
So churches are private property, and we fully support you guys. We actually have a team that will come out and do a training for you, and they'll talk about good ways to do it. A lot of times, some of our recommendations is if you're wearing a name tag, sir, if you wear name tags as part of your group, we ask that you put something on there, usually like a red dot or something, so I know, oh, that guy's armed. Okay, that makes sense. And it's not anything you have to advertise, but it's something that when we show up on campus, we know you got people who are armed. A lot of times they'll do that for us. We also have details. If you're not comfortable, if there's nobody in your church who feels comfortable, no problem. We'll be happy to come out and protect your church. We spend a lot of time at the synagogue. We spend a lot of time at other churches who want our presence there. Fully support that too. We'll always be there for the churches. Yes, ma'am. I'll take questions if you guys have. We have a few more minutes. Yes, sir.
Yes, it sounds great what you're doing with the crime center there, the AI and everything.
Yes, sir.
And are you well protected against cybersecurity threats? And is that something that's a closed loop system that, say, the federal government or something doesn't have access to if things go awry?
I feel confident in our IT group. The guy who is number 2 in our IT, I've noticed since I was in high school, he went through a variety of different cybersecurity trainings, as well as all of his college and everything that he's done. Ultimately, you can't, we'd have to unplug from the internet to be completely safe. But I can tell you, we recently had an audit by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and they absolutely said we're head and shoulders above almost every other law enforcement agency that they see. I feel confident that our systems are very well protected. I'm asking our county to build a redundancy system. I would love to see the county work with us constitutionals to build a separate cyber hub somewhere out west where we can have redundant backups of everything. I have backups of everything, but if something happens on my campus, I'm concerned about that. If somebody came in, I want something remote that I can get to and be safe about. So I feel comfortable and confident in what we do. I talk about that all the time because I do believe that our foreign enemies are trying to get to our information. On our website, it's a simple website. IRC Sheriff, people go there all the time to look at our inmates and bookings and all those kinds of things. I regularly get reports from our IT section that we get. Oh, did I lose it? Did I press a button or something?
Might be dead battery.
On the battery?
Running out of batteries.
On the bottom?
On the bottom.
Hello. Okay. I regularly get reports that we'll get DDoS attacks on our website, that they'll try and do something. And we pretty much blocked all the traffic from China and North Korea and all those things because it's all malicious traffic. So we do as much as we can, but we're always trying to improve it. Does that make any sense? I'll take 2 more questions. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sheriff Flowers, did you attend the FBI's briefing with the sheriffs that happened did you attend?
I did not. That was an NSA, the National Sheriff's Association conference. I was at the Florida Sheriff's Conference, and that's one, you're probably the fifth person to ask me that. I am going to start attending that going forward because I've never attended a National Sheriff's event. I've been very loyal to the Florida Sheriffs, but it sounds like that Ohio Sheriff really got some information out of it. And I said, I feel bad for my constituents that I wasn't there. So in the future, after the election, I'm going to be attending National Sheriff's going forward.
The reason I ask is, and you didn't attend, so you won't be able to answer unless you've got a back brief from
I have not.
other sheriffs, is that I found it very odd that Director Ray would tell us about all these threats, yet he's focusing his personnel arresting J6 people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And not going out there and arresting the people that he needs to be arrested.
I was here when you had the young man from the FBI that was a whistleblower, and we had that conversation, and that was the crux of his argument was, I'm not going to go out and do this stuff, there's pedophiles, there's all these bad people, and so I completely agree with you, absolutely. One more from the back, yes sir.
Thank you, Sheriff Flowers. You said earlier, if there's a county-wide crisis here, a hurricane, very common, like you said, cell phones are going to go out. Have you considered at all partnering with the CERT team over in Vero County, the Community Emergency Response Team, who are volunteers who go into almost any neighborhood, they live all over the county, they have radios, and they could actually feed information back to you on a real-time basis? I wonder if you'd at all thought about that.
Yeah, so as part of our EOC response, CERT is in there. So if we had a major incident and EOC was activated, that would be part of it for sure. So CERT's already dialed into that. I'm happy to have a separate relationship with the Sheriff's Office with CERT. I have no problem doing that. But basically, the EOC is already dialed into that, and they're already a part of that. Every time we have hurricane drills, the folks who use the amateur radios, the ham, they come out, we practice. I always attend their events. So I have a good working relationship with them, but it's definitely something that we could probably grow a little bit better. So thank you for that. Guys, thank you so much for having me. Listen, I'm fully available to you. I'm your sheriff. If there's something tonight that I did not answer for you, or you have a question, or you want to know about something, I am readily available. I will give you my cell phone. If you want it, 772, anybody, 240-0249. That's my personal cell phone. 772-240-0249. Give me a call, give me a text. I have no problem with you calling me, asking me questions. Every piece of campaign literature that I put out has my personal cell phone number on it. Call me. But if I don't answer, it rings through to my assistant. She will get the message to me and I will call you back. Many times I'm in meetings, I'm busy throughout the day going to different things, so don't be offended if I don't answer. But text is usually a really good way to get a hold of me. So anything I can do to help you guys, we're here for you. We've got a ton of resources. If you're having problems with homelessness, if you're having problems with community issues, any of that stuff, I have people dedicated to all those things. We're happy to help you. Call my office, call my cell phone. I will take care of you. Thanks guys, have a great night.